Hey everybody, welcome to SwJ. Today we're picking up where we left off last time on my blanket project, and we're working on the t-shirt side, getting new patch pinned in, and we're going to be sewing that in today. And we'll have a dose of our daily good world news as well. So let's get into it. Already got the red thread on the big needle, and we're going to keep going with our blanket stitch, and I'm going through a few layers this time, so it's a little more of a challenge. Now, good news for today is in the world of nature, and our friends the whales are the center of attention. And we've known for some time now that whales migrate. And there was a recent study done. There were 900 whales which were tracked so that scientists could follow their migratory pathways and see where they were at certain times of year. Now that we have that information, that will go a long ways to furthering conservation efforts in those areas. When you can say to a country that, your whaling permits or your fishing permits are on a migratory whale route, you shouldn't allow commercial fishing during these months, because that's when you'll be catching all the whales. It's something that the commercial fisher people probably could have told them, but now there is scientific evidence, and that's what it seems that is needed these days to get anything done, is a scientific study and evidence that says this is how it is. So if governments can use this information to guide their policies, and perhaps even just completely stop some fishing practices, in certain areas or at certain times of the year, you could save a lot of marine life. And the official number they gave here was every year 300,000 are killed in a combination of whales and dolphins and porpoises. So 300,000 per year. And here we are. A lot of the stories that we've been talking about are, species on land where we're talking about a few hundred, in existence, and they're killing off 300,000 per year. It's the difference between what we do see and what we don't see. You know, we don't see the oceans. We have no idea how many of them are in existence. You know, if we're accidentally killing off 300,000 a year, you know, how quickly is the population declining, and how many are out there? Like, we have no idea fully. You know, they're discovering new reefs every day. Well, not every day, but often, you know, and I keep reading about all these new species of deep underwater fish that are being discovered, and we have no idea what's on this planet. We definitely need to not kill things off to the tune of 300,000 a year accidentally. It just always blows my mind how, when you measure things on the scale of a planet, you know, how large the numbers can be. You know, if they're accidentally catching 300,000 whales, dolphins, and porpoises per year, how much are they intentionally catching? Like, of fish? And I know that you have to feed the world's population. Just the numbers boggle my mind. All the fuel consumed by those vessels. You know, we have a finite supply of fossil fuels on this planet, and I've got a number of machines that run off of it. So, hoping that some of the mass consumers can be reduced so that people who have specialty vehicles and interesting vehicle collections can keep having and operating these vehicles. Because I'm really thinking I'm going to have to start looking into EV conversion kits for the things that I own. And the problem is, like, I can't afford to change over all of my vehicles to electric, and I can't afford to buy a new electric vehicle. So where is that gonna leave me? But we'll see. The changes will come. One thing I don't really understand is why the price of gas is going up. And maybe someone can explain this to me. But you'd think if fewer people are driving to work and businesses aren't open as much, and etc., you'd think that fuel consumption across the board would be dropping. And that since there would be an excess of fuel, you would think that the prices would go down rather than up. Now, if their excuse was that the pandemic was making everything more expensive, then a lot of restrictions are lifting, and hopefully the prices will come back down again, but we'll see. See what they come up with for a reason to raise the prices next time. But I digress. I guess I'm in a bit of a negative state. Looking at the negative side of things, it's no good. Move on to some other good world news that we have here. Pardon me. And that is that Australia's largest coal plant has been scheduled to close in 2025 due to advancements in renewable energy sources in Australia. And that's massive news. That's an entire coal plant that won't be needed. So a huge victory. As long as everyone stays the course and keeps adding solar panels and doing their thing. And I think the best thing about this story, above and beyond renewable resources, whatever, is that they're going to be able to use the existing infrastructure of the coal plant to store power generated by renewable sources. So the existing coal plant will basically be turned into a big battery station, basically a big battery, and then excess energy can be stored for when it's needed and released when the generation doesn't keep up with the demand. Yeah, massive world news. Big coal plant shutting down 2025. Simply because they don't need it. And that's awesome news. So I think we'll call her an episode there. Good news to end her off. Thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate the time we get to spend together. And till next time, keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.